Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Story Time with Abubakr. Alhamdulillah, for the last couple of weeks we've been doing stories of prophets. We've covered the story of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. We've covered the story of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. We've covered the story of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Alhamdulillah, we have covered the story of Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. We've covered the story of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Alhamdulillah. And there were many requests as to which story we should start next. Before I do start the story, I'd just like to mention and like a recap so that everyone is aware that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is like the father figure of all the prophets. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam had two sons, Ismail and Ishaq. Because when we are doing stories of the prophet, it's very important that we know the structure of how the prophets came into this world. So Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he had two sons, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam and Ishaq alayhi salatu wasalam. From the family of Ismail, from the children of Ismail, no prophets came. So Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam had children, they had children, they had children, they had children, they had children. None of them were prophets until Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam came. So Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam came from the children of Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Whereas Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam had another son called Ishaq alayhi salatu wasalam. From Ishaq alayhi salatu wasalam came Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. From Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam is known as Yaqub alayhi salam and his children are known as Banu Israel. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam had 12 children, and them 12 children became tribes, and those are known as Banu Israel. Banu Israel means Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam's children. How many children did he have? 12. So from them 12 tribes came. And from this side all the prophets came. All the prophets came from the children of Ishaq alayhi salatu wasalam. Only one prophet came from the family of Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, and that was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So we've done the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we did the story of Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, we then did the story of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. Thereafter we did the story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Thereafter we did the story of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Following the chain of Ishaq, then Yaqub, then Yusuf, then Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And for those who were with us in the story of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam used to live in Egypt, if you remember. And from Egypt, he left Egypt. And this is when Fir'aun, Ramesses II, drowned, and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam entered a new land. That land nowadays is the land of Palestine. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and his people entered this land, and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam thereafter passed away here in this land, and he is buried in Palestine. Now, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, one viewer had asked that could you do the story of Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. So I thought of going with the request of the viewers, because you're the viewers, you're the one who tells me which stories to do, and if you tell me something and I don't do that, then I don't think it's fair. So one person did mention that can you do the story of Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. So Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam came in the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Came in the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Some people say that Yusha, he was the great grandson of Yusuf alayhi salam. Some say Yusha was the great grandson of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And Yusha was also a prophet. Yusha. But in the time of Musa alayhi salam, he was relatively very young. and he used to accompany Musa ﷺ wherever Musa ﷺ would go. So in the time of Musa ﷺ, an incident occurred, and some scholar, they say that this incident happened with Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. Therefore I'll just mention the story of Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam over here. Once what happened was, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was delivering a speech, and someone came and asked this question to Musa alayhi salam: "O Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, who is the cleverest person in this time?" Musa alayhi salatu wasalam replied, because he was a prophet, and prophets are the most intelligent and the most cleverest people. So obviously Musa alayhi salatu wasalam answered, obviously I am the most cleverest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like this answer. How can you say you are the cleverest? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like this answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Musa, "O Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, there is someone who is more clever than you. And O Musa alayhi salam, I want you to go and see him." So Musa alayhi salatu wasalam got amazed, and he was confused. There is someone else who is more clever than me, meaning clever than a prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, yes, he has got a different knowledge than you, and I want you to go and see him. And O Musa alayhi salam, this person, you will find him next to a river. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told him that if you want to find this particular person, what you need to do is take some food, and in that food make sure you take a fish. When you will be walking next to the river, this fish will vanish. This fish will come out. Wherever this fish comes out, this is the place where that person will be. So Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he left. And this, some scholars says that he took one person with him, and this person who he took was Yusha. So Musa alayhi salam is walking, and this young boy was with him, Yusha. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam gave him the food basket, that you keep the food and we're going to walk next to this river. Wherever this fish will come out, that's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told me that person will be. So they're walking next to the river, and this fish is not coming out. They stop at a place, they have some rest, and Musa alayhi salam goes to sleep, and guess what happens? That fish comes out. When Musa alayhi salam wakes up, Yusha alayhi salam, he forgets to tell Musa alayhi salam that fish has come out. He forgets to tell him. And Musa alayhi salam, he wakes up, and again they're walking. When Musa alayhi salam gets tired, he says to Yusha, "Oh Yusha, you know that fish which we've bought, where is it?" That's when he realizes, "Oh Musa, I forgot to tell you that place where we had rested, that's where that fish had come out." Musa alayhi said, "That's the place where we need to be." So they went back, and guess what? That same place, there was this person sat. Musa alayhi salam did salam and said to that person that, "Oh person, this incident had taken place with me, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told me to come and see you and learn something from you." And you know who this person was? Khizr. Some people say he was a prophet, Khizr alayhi salatu wassalam. And Khizr alayhi salatu wassalam said, "Oh Musa, yes, you are allowed to stay with me. I have been given special knowledge by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But oh Musa, I think you will not be able to stay with me." Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Of course, I will be able to stay with you." Hazrat Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam said, "No, because I have been given special knowledge, and you will not understand this knowledge." Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Please, I promise, I will not say anything. I will stay with you, and whatever you do, but I will not question your knowledge." So Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Okay then, stay with me." So just then they wanted to cross the river. So a boat came, Hazrat Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, come on, let's get on board the boat. The person who was rowing this boat, he knew Khizr alayhi salam. So he said to Khizr, oh Khizr, you don't have to pay me anything. You can bring Musa alayhi salam, this person who is accompanying you, and I will take you to the other land for free, no money. So Khizr alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam, they sat in that boat, and that boat is going. Just then, Khizr alayhi salatu salam, he took a plank of wood, not from the bottom that the whole boat gets sunk, from the side, and he broke it. Musa alayhi salatu salam thought to himself, what's he doing? What's Khizr doing? This person let us go on board for free, and this person, Khizr alayhi salam, he's just broke one of the planks. So he said to Khizr, oh Khizr, what have you done? This is not good. Khizr alayhi salam said, oh Musa, didn't I tell you that whatever I do not question? Musa remembered, oh yeah, I forgot that I did say that I won't say anything. Khizr alayhi salam said, look, don't say anything what I do, just observe and just look at me. So then they reach the shore, they come out of the land, and then they see a young boy, and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam sees that boy getting killed. So Musa alayhi salam gets really frustrated. Oh Khizr alayhi salam, what's happened to this boy? He just got killed. Hazrat Khizr said, what did I tell you? If you're going to stay with me, then don't ask questions. Musa alayhi salam said, okay, one last chance. I will not question anything now. So Khizr alayhi salam said, okay, one last chance. Then after that, you can't stay with me. So now, they're going. They enter a town. Now because they're really tired, they ask the people, oh people, is there anyone to feed us? And they refuse to feed Khizr alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam. Just then, a wall was just about to collapse on the floor. Khizr alayhi salam quickly went, and he made sure that that wall didn't fall down. And he erected that wall so that it doesn't fall down. Musa alayhi salam went to Khizr and said, oh Khizr, what have you done? These people didn't give us food, and now their wall is falling down, and you've gone and saved their wall. Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam said, oh Musa, didn't I tell you not to question whatever I do? Just then he remembered, oh yeah, I did. Khizr alayhi salam said, look, now you are not allowed to stay with me. You need to go back. And oh Khizr, oh Musa, before you go back, I want to tell you something. Why I did these things. Oh Musa, that boat which we were on, there was a king. You didn't know this, oh Musa. And he wanted to take all the good boats. And I thought to myself that this boat which we are on is a good boat too. Therefore that king will steal this boat too. So what I did is I broke a bit of wood, a plank of wood from that boat, so it becomes a bit defect, so that the king doesn't steal this boat. That's why I did that. Oh Musa, that boy got killed because when he would grow older, he was going to become disobedient servant of Allah. Oh Musa alayhi salam, I erected that wall for free, even though they did not give us food, because underneath that wall there was money, there was treasure, and that treasure was saved for two orphans people. If that wall fell, that treasure would have come out, and everyone would have known about this money and would have stolen that money. And I did not want this treasure to be revealed, because this treasure which was saved for two orphan people. O Musa alayhi salatu salam, this is why these three things happened. and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam asked for forgiveness and he left. So this story happened with Musa alayhi salam and Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is one of the stories which has been mentioned regarding Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. So that person who had asked that can you narrate a story from the story of Yusha alayhi salam, this is one of the story of Yusha alayhi salatu wasalam. So carrying on, what story shall we do next? I thought of doing the story of Dawood alayhi salam. The reason why I thought of doing the story of Dawood alayhi salam, because after Ibrahim alayhi salam comes Ishaq alayhi salam. After Ishaq alayhi salam comes Yaqub alayhi salam. After Yaqub alayhi salam comes Yusuf alayhi salam. After Yusuf alayhi salam comes Musa alayhi salam, from the major prophets. After Musa alayhi salam, one of the major prophets to come is Dawood alayhi salam. So I thought, some say that after 400, some say after 500 years, after Musa alayhi salam passing away, Dawood alayhi salam comes. So that's why I thought of doing the story of Dawood alayhi salatu salam. So briefly, I will touch upon the story of Dawood alayhi salam. So from the story of Musa alayhi salatu salam, if you remember, Musa alayhi salatu salam, he's gone into this barren land, and Banu Israel are there now. So they've left Egypt and then this barren land, and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam is telling these people to do good things and telling these people that look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised us a better land, we need to go to that land. And during this, Musa alayhi salam passes away. Harun alayhi salatu wasalam, some say that he passed away before Musa alayhi salam. So Harun alayhi salam has left this world, Musa alayhi salam has left this world. And these people, Banu Israel, they become really bad. Because what you have to remember is, when you're in a classroom, a teacher comes and he teaches. When the teacher's there, no one messes about, because everyone knows that we have to listen to the teacher. But as soon as the teacher goes away, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, people still stay silent, quiet, they keep on doing their work. But if they realize that the teacher's not coming, what happens? The whole class starts messing about, correct? Because there's no one there to guide them, there's no one there to stop them. So this is what happened. During that time, a prophet didn't come. So all these Banu Israel, a lot of them, they started doing bad things, they started killing each other, and whenever someone good came, they would kill them. These people, Banu Israel, they would go into battles and they would win a lot of battles, these people, Banu Israel. One day, what happened was, these people, Banu Israel people, again, they went to have a battle with an enemy, and these enemy, they were called not Palestine, Philistine. A group of Philistine. They had, Banu Israel had a battle with a group of Philistine, and they lost. So this group of Philistine, they became the king of that area. And when these people became the king of this area, they started torturing, they started doing bad things with Banu Israel, misbehaving, persecuting with Banu Israel. So now Banu Israel are on the lower end, and there's another ruler who's ruled this area. Now they've been ruled by this king now. And what was the name of this king? This king, in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this king's name was Jalut. And some in English you say Goliath. Jalut. He ruled these people. Just then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a prophet called Prophet. Some say his name was Samuel, some say his name was Shamil. Samuel, Shamil, a prophet came in Banu Israel. When these people found out that this person, Shamil or Samuel, is a prophet, they asked that, please, Prophet, help us. We are being persecuted, humiliated. This prophet said, look, I can't help you. You have done so many bad things. These people said, please help us, please help us. So Prophet Samuel, or some say Shamil, different pronunciation, he made dua to Allah. Oh Allah, please help us. Please give us a king. Please give us someone who would be a warrior. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to this Prophet, oh Prophet, I will give you a particular king. He will come to you. When he will come to you, you should recognize that this person who has come to you for something else, you have to appoint him as the king. So this Prophet Shamil said, okay. Just then, what had happened in that area? There was this father, his donkeys had gone lost. So he sent his child, oh my child, you and few other servants, can you go and find these donkeys? I don't know where they've gone. So this person, he went. Obviously his dad told him that I need to locate the donkeys. Where have they gone? And it came evening had set, the sun had set. So this particular person said, look, oh my soldiers, oh my servants, let's go back. We haven't found the donkeys. Let's tell my dad that I can't find these donkeys. So this person, someone said that, oh person, you're in this area, and you know what this person's name was? His name was, in English you say Saul, in Arabic you say Talut. Talut was this person's name. And his father had told him that look for my donkeys. So Talut, someone told him, oh Talut, there's this person over here. He's a prophet. Why do you go and see him? He might know where the donkeys are. So this person, Talut, he went to locate this prophet. And Prophet Shamil, when he saw Talut, because Talut was he was very pious and he was very brave. Talut remembered that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that when someone comes to you, he must be the new king. So this prophet said to Talut, oh Talut, although you've come to me to ask for donkeys, where are the donkeys? But oh Talut, I think you should become the king of this area. So Talut said, how can I become the king? I just came to find my donkeys, my dad's donkeys. Prophet Shamil said, no, this was a direct divine revelation, an order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you should become the king. So Talut became the king of the area. Now Talut has become the king, and over there they were ruled by another king, and his name was Jalut. Now Talut had to now fight, had to have a battle with Jalut. So he prepared a big army. Okay, because you know this Jalut, Goliath, he was really strong. He had so much muscles and very strong. People just by looking at him were really scared. So Talut got a big army ready. Big army. Now, in the city of Bethlehem is now, at that time, I don't know what it was called, there was this old man living. This old man had 3 sons. He said to his 3 sons, oh my 3 sons, Talut is going to have a battle with Jalut. Oh my 3 sons, you go and help him. And he said to the youngest, oh my youngest child, you look very weak, you don't fight. You just go there and help. So these 3 sons, so old man sends 3 sons, and these 3 sons, they go in the army of Talut, and they say, oh Talut, our father has sent us to help you in your battle. So Talut looks and he says, okay, mashallah, you can help me in this battle. And now Talut has got a fairly large army, and they're going to fight Jalut and his army. A lot of people who were in the army of Talut, they stayed with Talut, but during the journey they left Talut, because everyone were really scared of Jalut. Goliath, a lot of people were scared. So Talut's army became really small, and by the time they went and to fight Jalut, the army had become even smaller. You know why? Because a lot of people, when they actually saw Jalut, they ran away. Now how can we fight him? Allahu Akbar. That's how much power Jalut was given. Then Talut camped, and then this Jalut, he came and he said, is there anyone who wants to fight with me? Who wants to fight with me? So Talut looked at his army, that is there anyone who will fight Jalut? Now remember that old man, he sent 3 sons, and he said to the youngest son, oh youngest son, you just help. This youngest son went to Talut and said, oh Talut, give me permission, I want to have a fight with Jalut. Talut said, meaning, look at him, how will you be able to fight him? This fairly young man said, no, I want to have a fight with him. And then Talut gave permission. Okay, then Talut gave him armor to wear. Okay, here, there's Jalut, go and fight him. Allahu Akbar. This fairly young man said, I don't want no armor, I don't want anything. And he took a leather packet, a leather pouch, and he put some stones inside. And he took a sling. A sling meaning, sling, when you're playing with the rubber band and you pull the rubber band, so it looks a bit like that, a sling. And now he's going, and there Jalut looks at this young man and he starts laughing. Now you're here to fight me? I mean, look at you, you don't even have an armor and you're coming to fight with me? He said, yes, I am here to fight you, and I will win, inshallah. And Allahu Akbar, what did this young man do? With the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he took the stone out from the leather pouch, he put it in a sling, and he pulled it, and he targeted his face, and then he let it go, and that stone struck Jalut, and Jalut trembled down on the floor, and he passed away. And people couldn't believe that this young man single-handedly killed Jalut. And everyone went to this young man, like, we didn't even know that you were this powerful. And they started hugging him, giving him wishes, that we didn't even know that you were this strong. And who was this young man? This young man who killed Jalut was Dawood alayhi salatu wasalam. He was who? Dawood alayhi salatu wasalam, who killed this who killed Jalut. So Dawood alayhi salam from that day on became really famous. Really famous. Everyone wanted to know who this person was, Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam. Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam, from a normal person, he became a very well known person in that area. Then Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam, when he grew older, he became a prophet. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam very beautiful voice. Very beautiful. It comes in books that Dawood, his voice was so melodious, Allahu Akbar, that when he used to recite the Zabur, because Zabur was given to Dawud alayhi salam, the birds, they would stop and listen to Dawud alayhi salam reciting. Allahu Akbar. That's how beautiful his voice was. Animals used to stop to listen to the melodious voice of Dawud alayhi salam. And he grew older, and Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam thereafter married the daughter of Talut. You know the king Talut? He married his daughter. Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam got married to his daughter, And Dawud ﷺ, one of the special powers which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Dawud ﷺ was iron. We know iron is very strong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the power that he used to mold iron with his bare hands. And then Dawud ﷺ grew older, and Talut, who was a king, he eventually passed away. And when he passed away, Dawud ﷺ became the king of that area. And Dawud ﷺ became the king, and Dawud ﷺ, he lived as a king. And when Dawud ﷺ passed away, he left a son called Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam. So Dawood alayhi salatu wassalam, he ruled that area, he ruled that city. He had a child called Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam. And inshallah tomorrow we will do the story of Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam. And his father's name was Dawood alayhi salatu wassalam. So alhamdulillah, mashallah, today we've covered a lot. The story of Yusha, the story of Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam, and then we went on to the story of Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam. And inshallah now tomorrow we will cover the son of Dawud alayhi salam, Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam's story. Alhamdulillah, there were many morals which came up from the story. One of the morals, the biggest moral, was that we should never think that we know everything. Look at Musa alayhi salam. Although he knew everything, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like this answer, that I know everything. So even as children, we should always be humble. Never think we are the strongest, we know everything. No, every time be humble. Be humble. One of the greatest quality which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes is being humble. So one of the morals is always be humble in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah, you know everything, and whatever you have taught me, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I know that. So that's one. There are many lessons which we can learn from the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam. I will not go through them, inshallah. Some other time we will go through them, because I wanted to keep these recording fairly short, and 30 minutes have already elapsed, and I did not want to prolong these stories to make it boring, or to prolong it. So alhamdulillah, we have done the story of Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam. As everyone knows, today after Maghrib is the day of Friday. On the day of Friday, there are many things which we should do, but one of the most and one of the beloved act in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we need to do on the Friday, is Durood Sharif. What does Durood Sharif mean? Durood Sharif means sending blessing upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when we say sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are sending blessing upon Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is something which we need to do. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 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 sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Keep on reading Durood Sharif. Keep on reading salutation upon Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I will just mention one story, and then we will leave. There was this person called Imam al-Husayn al-Busayri. Imam al-Husayn al-Busayri was a paralyzed person. He went to so many doctors for his for cure, but none of the doctors could cure Imam al-Husayn al-Busayri. One Thursday night, he thought to himself that I'm paralyzed, I'm ill. There's no doctors out there who could cure me. So he sat down and he thought to himself, what should I do? So he started writing Durood Sharif upon Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he started praising Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he started writing. He took a pen. He actually took a pen, and maybe he could move his hands, and he started praising Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And soon after doing that, he went to sleep. Whilst he was sleeping, he was lying down, and he saw Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came in his dream. He had a cloth. Prophet sallallahu had a cloth. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took that cloth and he put it on top of Imam al-Hussein al-Busayri. Imam al-Hussein al-Busayri, when he woke up, his illness had gone. His illness had gone. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And he remembered that night he was writing Durood Sharif. He was praising Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was writing about Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after writing this, he went to sleep, and he remembered all this. And in his dream, he saw that cloth which was laid on his body by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is so these are the special powers which are hidden in Durood Sharif. So if you have any problems, read Durood Sharif sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you know that poem which he wrote, you know what that poem was? Allahu Akbar. You can go on YouTube and you can type this poem of the scarf, because scarf was what Prophet ﷺ had laid. Remember, poem of the scarf. And if you go poem of the scarf, I will go something like this: Mawlaya salli wa sallim da'iman abada ala habibika khayril khalqi kullihim. Mawlaya salli wa sallim da'iman abada ala habibika khayril khalqi kullihim. That, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, send blessing, send durood upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam forever and ever and ever. And then the poem, it's a long poem. So this was a short, brief message that if you have any problems, any illness, any issues, keep on reading Durood Sharif upon Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With these words, I will conclude today's session. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.